Okay, so I have a few things. One, I still don't know how I want to produce more, like, here's what this film stock looks like, here's what this film looks like, here's what this camera is like. I don't know what I want to do with that. I know I want to, but I don't like the same formats that I have been doing. A lot of those are just, thrown together because I don't know how to use an editing software, but also just throwing images up on screen as everybody does. It's nice, but it doesn't really... It shows you what the image file looks like, but it doesn't show you what the image is like. And I have this problem in my brain that tells me you should print this because it looks better. And I find that very true. And I think what I'm going to try and do is find some good examples of my work when I do it and print them and then present them in some way. But that means I also have to find a way to light up a print, which it gets pretty messy because they're just glary. Unless I get, luster is kind of glossy and matte, but then if you just use matte, then it's just like, it's kind of boring because glossy looks great, as everyone knows. It's a mess. I'm working it out. I've been busy up until recently. I'm working on it. So it sucks to be me because I can't quite think it through. But in the meantime, I did find something else to keep me a little bit busy. And that is, I started looking at just a bunch of things that I missed playing on game consoles when I was a kid. Well, I guess teenager. Between the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. I missed out on a lot because I was mostly a 360 guy. The 360 was like my console. I put my money towards it, and then for my birthday, your parents fill in the rest. And that's kind of where I stayed for a very long time. So now I'm trying to venture back in. And on the Xbox 360, I picked up Gears of War 2. I've never really played more than a few minutes of it, and I've heard good things. I don't really know about the first one, if it's as good, but Gears of War 2 seems to be the pinnacle. So you got a nice slipcase on this one. And yes, it also has the manual inside, as every Xbox 360 or PS3 or any game in general should. Looking at you, Nintendo Switch. And I'm pretty excited. God, look at that. They used to have little instructions in here, like how to take cover and how to evade. Oh yeah, full color manuals. It was great. I really like the green case for the 360 too. I'm glad they kept that with newer Xbox stuff. It's just they kept the green. And I also picked this up. I know nothing about this one. But, what is it even called? Infinite Undiscovery. Only for 360, so I picked it up. This was also when I was out, and this case obviously being used, it comes on 2 discs but not in the correct case necessarily. So, it said it was guaranteed to play. I got this one at GameStop actually for $10. I've never seen it in store, so I was like, ooh, I'll buy it. And then, yeah, oh my god, this has beautiful art in it. It appears to be some kind of a... Oh god, that's right, I forgot I have to manually focus everything. It appears to be some kind of RPG kind of game. I wouldn't know. I don't really know how these kinds of games work. I didn't grow up playing them. So, whatever. Let's move on. Those are the only 2 360 pickups I have. I'm trying to just get a few things here and there. Okay, moving on then. Yeah, PS3. Killzone 2. I had the demo on that PS3 growing up, and I never managed to buy it because it was still like $60 when I had that demo. And it is so good looking. I remember this was the game that made me go like, holy shit, PC graphics are already amazing, because I was starting to dabble occasionally in PC gaming. But this was back when specialized hardware still ruled over a lot of just general releases. So if you were able to use the Cell processor on the PlayStation, boy howdy. And this was in it. Oh yeah. If this just isn't the most sad and old thing to look back on now. I should probably scan this. I don't know if this even, I don't even know if anyone else even has seen one of these in several years, these little cards. I thought about actually scanning some of these manuals or scanning some of these little inserts because, you know, how often were you actually going to see these anymore? And I got Killzone 3, and these are pretty cheap now, thankfully, so I'm able to actually get them. Yeah, the red case is really nice, but I prefer the transparent ones. They just looked kind of cool. Although, for Killzone, having a red case, I could see the appeal, right? So, why did these occasionally have notes, like a page for notes in the manual? I always wondered, like, is it just for, like, you making notes while you're playing, or... They had action figures? I had no idea. Now we move on to my luckiest find. It's not complete, but I got Dark Souls 2, the Black Armor Edition. I was actually in the store. They had a Dark Souls 2, just, I think it was just the regular game disc, and it was, I think it was like $12 or something, and it didn't have the manual in it, and the disc was like, eh. But I was walking past on my way out of the store, and I saw just like this, and I saw that font, and instantly, like, you know, neuron activation happens, and I said, oh my god, can I see what that is? And he's like, oh yeah, yeah. This was just like some other spot. It was like a used game store, so stuff's kind of everywhere. It's organized, but it's like organized chaos in a way. And sure enough, Dark Souls 2, Black Armor Edition. This is amazing. Great shape. It's not dented or anything. I loved this, man. But it is not complete because I do not have the manual. If it did come with one, I don't know, because I've never seen one of these before. But it has a little soundtrack disc in here as well. Soundtrack and game. That's so cool. Oh. Oh, ho, ho. Yeah, buddy. You can see the little flip-out camera screen over there. So I'm very excited to play, because apparently this is like a release edition, if I recall. I googled it to see, like, what is this? It's not like a weird edition of, like, that they released later, but I think it's something that, like, this was like a launch version. So I'm hoping this is like version 1. I gotta stop saying like. I really want it to be version 1, because I want to experience Dark Souls 2 prior to Scholar of the Second Sin enemy placement is ridiculous, and I have a skill issue. No, Scholar of the First Sin, I've come around to it, but I'd like to see what the original game was like. Bad frame rate included, but, you know, sometimes there's unique things to each version of the game, and that's relatively exciting. So, yeah, I'm excited for Dark Souls 2 instead of Scholar of the First Sin. But I do want Scholar of the First Sin on PS3 as well, because it includes all the DLCs, but it doesn't include all the revamped changes. So, that would be nice. And, no, that's about it for that. I'm still on the lookout for a Dark Souls 1 early version and a Demon's Souls in general. Last thing I picked up was this. I have no idea what this is. Record of Agarest War 2. I have no idea. But it's still sealed. $17. What am I going to argue at that? Nah. Seems kind of fun. So HD video output, 480p and 720p. Looks like a turn-based RPG. You're gonna notice the pattern. Any game that wasn't a shooter with intense violence, blood and gore, and strong language on the ESRB is just gonna be, you know, I'm just gonna be picking it up as like, hey, here's an RPG that you're not gonna finish, and it's gonna take you 10,000 hours to figure out. Great, sign me up. I know nothing about this, so or any of them really. But that's the fun, you know? You can finally buy these games that were like $60 back in the day, and now you can pick them up for a good price and have fun and see if they're any good. If not, okay, you can sell them off and don't be a dick about pricing. You're pricing to sell.